Yo, welcome back to another one, Blue as I City, Manchester City fan channel. And bro, I'm gonna have to call today's video a look back, if you will. The day after show, if you will. We're gonna definitely touch upon, what happened yesterday, but we're also gonna look at a few other things. I've been reading a lot of the comments out there, and a lot of people got a lot of things to say. So we're gonna be talking about that extended here a little bit more. And today we're gonna be talking about, was it a big deal, the loss itself? And I know some people got feelings about that. We're also gonna look at, I really want to know from fans out there, what was your Manchester City prediction coming into the season? What trophies did you think we were going to win? We're going to touch upon that. The KDB injury, of course. And then we're obviously, what we do around on this channel is we keep it real. So, we're going to have to talk about some players who've been out of form. But at the end of the video, I'm just going to let you know one thing. We still Manchester City. We still have a chance to really do some big things. So let's not be so critical on the team, even though I know that they haven't been performing that way that we like them to. So before we get going into the content, I just want to say one thing. Thank you guys for helping me grow the channel, and I appreciate all the love I've been getting on the videos of late. So, without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. It just helps us connect to all of our brothers and sisters all over the world that's Manchester City fans. So let's get going into this. So obviously we got to talk about, the loss yesterday and how it was just a shame to see us lose in that type of manner. Obviously, the Leeds loss has a little bit to do with it. But then I know I was making this video a little bit later than what I expected. Pardon me, gotta have my coffee a little bit. Because I thought there was going to be a chance that Manchester United was going to lose, and then they just mucked that up. So, it's just sometimes you can't get a break out here, man. But let's get into it, yo. So the first look back I want to take a look on is obviously the loss against Chelsea yesterday. Chelsea, in my opinion, I made a video about this yesterday. Chelsea is a damn good team, especially when you're thinking about their midfield. Their midfield is solid. And even though that they don't play the most exciting of football, they still have a chance to do good things. Now, everybody's really talking about the starting lineup. And obviously, my point on the starting lineup is that he did make a lot of changes, and maybe it was a little bit too many changes, but this team has played a lot of games, and some people just couldn't cut the mustard yesterday, and that's just as simple as that. Guardiola can deliver directions, but players still got to go out there and perform. And I think he made a mistake in making changes, but also the players that he picked, there's just no continuity, there's no flow that what we saw in that game. So that's just my opinion on the situations. We out of the FA Cup, but let's take a look underneath the hood of yesterday's game. So the one thing I can definitely talk upon, obviously, is the starting lineup. The starting lineup, in my opinion, was just way too many changes in the sense that Mendy wasn't really flowing. And me personally, the way I feel is that if Riyad Mahrez is not playing on the right, put Sterling on the right. I am tired of seeing Sterling on the left. All Manchester City fans have made statements about Raheem Sterling on the left this year. So, he's just not really finding his flow, and I'll be honest with that. But Raheem, no, I got your back, and I'm going to point to the video later while everybody out there talking bad about him. We're going to get to some real numbers, talking about that at the end of the video. But obviously, he's been definitely out of form, and I'm not going to make any excuses for that. But, y'all, Pep need to start putting him on the right. It's more than obvious that he should not be playing up on the left. And then, you could switch up with Torres. I don't understand why he doesn't put Torres, in the striker position. So that's just my feelings on it. Mendy hasn't been out of, Mendy's just hasn't been able to find his groove yesterday. And yesterday showed itself. He hasn't played a lot of games of lately, and he's just not looking like he's really in tune with everything. You bring Laporte in, I thought Laporte was a standout, and then the Fernandinho and Rodri thing, I know everybody got a lot to say about that, but I thought that was interesting that he did that. I'm going to tell you why. I made a video even talking about this. I know you might not like Fernand and Rodri playing like that, but you might have to get used to it, because against PSG, we might need to go against something like that. So I think yesterday was a prelude to something that he might do against PSG. It didn't work, but maybe that's just the first time he's tried it. He's tried it a few times this season. It did really work out. But I thought right off the bat, as soon as the game started, I want to say right around the 5th minute of the game, there was a chance where it was definitely offside, but you could just see the way Chelsea was able to pass through us, and they was going to hit us with the counterattack. And I think it was Hakim Ziyech who had a chance, but it was ruled offsides. But that was just 5 minutes into the game. And then as we go into the first 10 minutes of the match, nothing's really going on in the match. It's kind of like a boxing match, if you will, where we're just throwing jabs, kind of filling each other out. But I thought Chelsea Chelsea looked a little bit more comfortable, and then something interesting happened around the 10-minute mark. And I said to myself, Pep's going ultra defensive in this match. And if you go back and you watch the game, I think it happened right around the 10-minute mark, to where we were playing in a back six, where we had our CDMs, Rodri and Ferner, fill in to a back six that's all on one line. And I said to myself, I was like, wow, that's interesting. You know, that's something I expect to see with Tottenham or something like that. But, yo, it did happen. But I was kind of looking at it, I said to myself, okay, like I mentioned, this is really like a prelude to what he might do against PSG. Now, you could argue this might not have been the match to do that in, but I don't know if he's going to get another opportunity to do that. And I definitely agree that he made too many changes, but that was something interesting that I know. And then Gabby had his shot around the 10-minute mark as well. That was outside the goal, but outside the box, but it was straight at Kappa. So, pardon me there 1 second. But I did notice that within the first 15 minutes, right, we did look shaky. And I know that you guys saw that too, because everybody's feeling the shakiness due to the fact that we lost against Leeds. We did win against Dortmund, but then we're losing this. So we're naturally not feeling, you know, full of confidence. And I think that that played it with the players yesterday. They didn't look like they were all in sync. They didn't look like they even knew how to play with one another, because they just have essentially be deemed the second string team, if you will. But they just didn't look in sync. And I thought Rodri's passing, he was sloppy with his passing. I know Raheem Sterling was sloppy with his passing. Benjamin Mendy was sloppy with his passing. But I noticed that. And then if you get right around to the 18th minute of the mark of the game, now there's a chance to where they basically start out from the back, and I think it's Mason Mount or Reece James. It might have been Reece James who helps create this opportunity with Chilwell, and then they basically play it. The next thing you know, what happens is Reece James is running down the right side of the pitch, and then he ends up putting up this long cross that ends up making his way over to Chilwell. And you saying to yourself, like, yo, we lost 1-0. Yo, we could have lost by more than that, because if you look at it, like, that opportunity that they had right there, if Chilwell would have got that on target, I'm not saying it was going to go in, but it was a damn good chance. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, John Cancelo got sucked inside defensively when the cross came over. I can't really blame Torres for not tracking back that far. So we just looked like we wasn't in sync offensively or defensively within this game. And I definitely think that Chelsea did a really good job of just, you know, dribbling all the way through us, right? So another standout moment of the game, and this happened from my man Aymeric Laporte, and I've always said that I've said yesterday in particular that Aymeric Laporte had a damn good game, and I think he exhibited right off a turnover that happened yesterday around the 32nd minute of the game, I believe. Timo Werner is running out on the right-hand side, and Aymeric Laporte gets back to make like a defensive sliding tackle or like a block, and I'm saying to myself, yo, he's in sync defensively, because he knows that he's probably got a lot of pressure with John there, but I thought he was definitely doing his thing. But the game, you know, in the first half looked rather pedestrian from a City point of view. So we just got to get that out the way. Misplaced passing just happened to be the story of the first half, in my opinion. Didn't really have that many shots on target. I thought that, now, you did see a lot of banter and a lot of talking points around this, and I'm not going to really call it banter, because we as Manchester City fans, we know that we love this team, but the team can be frustrating at times, and we happen to be in one of those times, if you will. But I think De Bruyne had a frustrating first half, you know, very, very frustrating first half. And I know some people were out there talking about this, but I'm going to talk specifically about his corners. And the corners just wasn't working really for Kevin. They haven't been working lately, and I've always been an advocate of saying, like, I don't want Kevin taking corners. I want Kevin to be trying to think about getting on the end of a corner. And I know everybody talked about, yo, man, what he did right at the end of the half, taking as much time as he did and then playing the ball short. I really wasn't bugging off of it, but it was kind of frustrating. But, you know, I just didn't think that the team was really in sync. And then once Chelsea started getting in their groove, once Ziyech scored the goal, obviously, like, both fullbacks just get sucked in with this particular system. Hey, I'm streaming over here. Hey, I'm streaming. But, you know, pardon me if you hear the dog in the background. I can't help it. This is live. So, yo, but hold on 1 second. Let me close the door on this fool. Come here, you. All right, sorry about that. It was live. What else could we do? But Yo, I think that Chelsea started finding their groove. Once they found their groove in the second half there, with the goal from Ziyech, both fullbacks got sucked in so far forward. And this system, that's what it's doing. And it's really frustrating that you're so far forward and then when time's coming to get back, nobody's really running back. But it was a beautiful, you gotta give it to Chelsea, because Timo Werner with that pass that opened it up for Ziyech, I thought that was phenomenal. But Zach Stephens was just, I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but he comes out way too far. Obviously, we know that. But I think he followed it right back up, because from what I remember about this game is that there was another chance right there with Hakeem Ziyech, to where the ball comes in. I forgot how it comes in. It comes in, Diaz doesn't clear it, and then Ziyech has an opportunity right there. Or Diaz kind of mistimed the ball, if you will, and then Ziyech, could have scored right then and there, but Zach Stephens stopped the ball. I mean, he did a block, so it was good. Later on, Phil Foden came on. I'm gonna talk about De Bruyne here in a second, but overall, without the game, without a doubt, Chelsea was just the better team. So now that we got that out the way, let's just get one thing understood. Is it a big deal? Is it not a big deal? Let me know of what you guys are thinking out there. I'm gonna give you my opinion. Some of you may not like this, but I gotta be honest with you, bro. And what I really mean by being honest with you is simply this. I did not really put a lot of stock into this game. That's one thing I have not done. And I think we got caught in this mind space, or in this world of, we're going to win the quadruple. We're going to win the quadruple. And naturally, we support the team, as we always will do. But I think a lot of people got sucked into this quadruple talk. So that's the reason why when he made those subs yesterday, a lot of people are so mad and saying, why would you make all those subs? But it's not a real big deal. I'm going to tell you why. The FA Cup is a great cup to win. You have the possibility of winning a true treble domestically, including the Champions League, if you will. But that is the true opportunity. But this team has played a lot of games, and I think that they just showed fatigue. They were out of form. But in my estimation, it's not a big deal. And I'm going to go why, too, in my next point. Because when the season first kicked off, this is what I said. I wanted Manchester City to win the Premier League. I wanted us to progress in the Champions League. So we have progressed in the Champions League. We still got a job to handle in the FA Cup. I mean, not in the FA Cup, but in the League Cup. We still got a chance to do some more damage in the Champions League. In the Premier League, we're at where we need to be. We just have not closed it off. But in my opinion, I said coming in that, I only wanted to win the Premier League and have progression in the Champions League. The team does have a chance to win the Premier League. Not playing the way we played of late, but the team definitely has a chance to win the Premier League. So winning the FA Cup should not be the priority, unless you was coming into the season saying, Manchester City's going to win the quadruple, I just think that, one, we had to lose something, and I'm not saying that we should have lost it the way we lost it yesterday, but it does happen. And at the end of the day, and I even talked about this in the previous video as well, is that, you got to ask yourself, when it comes to Manchester City, what trophies do you want at the end of the year? If you could pick what 2 trophies you want at the end of the year, the FA Cup is not one of them. It's not. It's going to be, I want the Premier League or I want the Champions League. It's not going to be the FA Cup. And I know I'm sounding disrespectful to the FA Cup. Trust me, I understand what we've done, been successful at what this competition could mean to us. But City is trying to get to that next level. And prior to 2014, I would not be saying this. But after 2014, with the number of investments that we've made, having Pellegrini win, having Mancini win, having Pep win, we got to shoot for bigger stars. And I'm a part of that movement. I'm not trying to disrespect the competition itself. I'm just saying that when it comes to this particular season, I wanted to win the Premier League to show, we had the title. Liverpool took it from us, but we here to take it back. And now the team is in a position to do that. So that's just the way I feel on. But obviously, let me know what you guys think about out there. Next talking point. Next talking point is definitely going to be KDB, KDB. We got to talk about the injury to Kevin De Bruyne. And yo, it's really frustrating. Kevin hasn't really had the solid season. You know, he's going to have a few little injuries here and there, but the way he went off yesterday, especially where we are right now within the calendar, I know everybody's like, yo, we need Kevin De Bruyne. Yo, we can't have Kevin De Bruyne be out. I don't want to see him out. Nobody wants to see him out, you know, and I hope that the injury is nothing that's going to be a long time. But in my mind, I haven't heard the news yet, but I'm thinking to myself, yo, he might be out for about a month. He might be out for a month. Kevin, I wish you a speedy recovery. Godspeed, my guy. Like, but I just, when I saw the injury, I said to myself, yo, he's just picked up another one of those knocks, those extended type of knocks. So we could be without him for about a month, and we definitely going to need him. But I'm not all the way too worried about it. And I know that sounds like blasphemy, and I'm going to tell you why. Kevin has been immense this season, but I think we all would agree, keeping it all the way real. That's what we do on this channel. We keep it all the way real, and we support the team. And I'm going to tell you why. Kevin De Bruyne hasn't even had the best of seasons, but he still have had about 8 goals and about 16 assists, and he hasn't even had the best of seasons so far, with injuries, just being in and out of form. But then you got somebody like Ilkay Gundogan who can now shine and flourish in that role. Now, I think that him and De Bruyne definitely could play well together. I'm not a part of that club that supports that nonsense, but they both can play together well. But we've already seen what it is that IG turns into. We've seen what Bernardo Silva turns into when Kevin De Bruyne is not there, because we got so many midfielders. It's ridiculous. But now them two are going to be able to step up. And I'm really confident that these two will be able to step up tremendously. Do I want Kevin against PSG? Absolutely, I do. But just the way the injury looked, I'm not too sure we're going to have him, but I'm not worried, and I'm confident, and you should be too, because I'm telling you, IG is ready to step up. He's already showed that that's what he can do. He's got 16 goals already, so he's able to do his thing. Bernardo hasn't really had his shooting boots on all year, but I think Bernardo still got something like 5 goals and 7 assists, and I know there were people who were dogging Bernardo earlier this season, but collectively, I think we will be fine. So against PSG, it's going to be a tall task, but I think we'll be all right. Now I want to talk about players who are out of form and all of that stuff, right? Obviously, Benjamin Mendy has not been cutting it for a lot of people, and everybody's out there slandering him and all of that. And I'm going to keep it real. He has not been performing at the levels, but I'm going to tell you this. It's really hard to find your levels when you're playing every so often. For instance, I think Benjamin Mendy's played about maybe 17 matches, 15 of which he might have started in, something like that, around that number, give or take. But he has not been able to find his form, right? The Benjamin Mendy that we all want to see. And that can be due to injuries too, because he's had so many extended injuries and been, experiencing all these different types of knocks and everything. And when he comes back healthy, then he picks up something. So it's just really about getting him to try to get those legs back to where he needs to be. And obviously he's not the best defensively, but you do want a little bit more from him offensively. I'm not going to fight anybody on that, because I think that Benjamin Mendy still needs to do a lot better. But did you know that Benjamin Mendy has 2 goals and I think 1 assist? Zinchenko has just 1 assist. So it's just like with this whole team, and I'm going to point out here when I talk about players being out of form, what you're going to see is this whole damn team has been out of form all year, but it's just, maybe it's a different approach. I'm not a big fan of this system. I've said that throughout many of my videos. I really don't like this system that much at all, but it has shown to work for us. I really hope one thing happens, that we win the Premier League. We, do something nice in the Champions League. I want a progression. We got a little bit of progression, but I know a lot of people say that, we want to win the Champions League. Of course, I want to win the Champions League, but I'm not going to say that the team is going to win the Champions League, but I want the Premier League. But my point being there is that with this particular team, everybody's been out of form, and I'm about to show you that right now in a second. but we're not the Centurion type of Manchester City. You know, we're finding ways to win just by scoring a goal here and there or doing enough to get it done. And I do hope that I can just wake up next year after we win the Premier League and we win the Champions League, or we progress in the Champions League, and this system is done. Like, I don't want to see this system at all next year. That's just my personal opinion on it. But let's get into these people. So Benjamin Mendy has definitely been out of form. He looked a little bit slow yesterday, but he still has 2 goals. And his passing has been off. But my point being is that it's really hard to get into your form when you got injuries in the back of your mind, and then you got the fact that you're not playing regularly. I think the best thing for Benjamin Mendy may be to go out on loan, or us try to sell him in the summer. But I would think a loan would do him good, to where he could go somewhere and just play every game to get his confidence and his mojo back, because it's probably not going to happen at this point with City. All right, bring me on to Raheem Sterling. So everybody's out there talking about Raheem Sterling and all of this, and this is where I'm going to jump in and come to Raheem Sterling's back. Because at the end of the day, all of these people out here talking about Raheem Sterling is shit. Now, Alex, I'm not talking about you. It's all right to be critical. You know what I'm saying? So let's just note that. Raheem Sterling, we all can be critical of him. I'm going to get on to maybe talking about some of the negatives and then finish positively. We know that Raheem Sterling has been off the mark of late. We know that he's always been frustrating as a player, because we probably say that he's not the most clinical or most decisive in front of goal. He has been frustrating throughout parts of yesterday in particular, to where he just couldn't put passes together. But you know, Pep's not doing him any favors, in my opinion, by putting him on the left side. Now, with that being said, Raheem Sterling's got to be a lot better and being more direct. So I will say that Raheem Sterling has got to find a way to be better, especially of late. I don't know where that is, through the middle, if he has to make different runs, or if he needs to go to Pep and say, look, I freaking hate this system, and that's the reason why, you know, I've been off the mark, this system, and just let it be known. But at the end of the day, we know he's not performing, but Pep got to do a better job of putting him in better positions too. That man could not be on the right. Now, I know you will say, yo, he came on against Dortmund and he was on the right, and he didn't even look to even take the shot, or he scuffed it. He just wasn't really in the right frame of mind. And I wouldn't argue with you there. He is definitely not playing well. But Raheem Sterling, I'm confident, will find a way to get his groove back. And I'm going to show you when you're talking about this groove. So all these people that's talking bad about him, and people saying, oh, he's shit, or he was never good, all this other stuff, that's a bunch of nonsense. I'm going to tell you what happened last year. Remember last year in the Champions League when we played Real Madrid and he was up against Carvajal? And he ran at Carvajal like that. And he came on as a sub, I believe, in that match. And he ran at Carvajal. And we got that penalty. Was he shit then? I don't think so. Has he been shit throughout all the times that he's bailed us out in all of these other previous seasons? Now, I know we're talking about this season, so let's just keep a perspective of this season. Raheem Sterling is probably, like we all say, I'm going to say that he's definitely been off the mark this season. But some of you guys out there might say he's been shit. All right, let's show you what the numbers say. Do you know Raheem Sterling has got 13 goals this year? You know he's got 9 assists. So he's probably in line. Do you know how many goals Riyad Mahrez has? Riyad Mahrez has 11 goals and 7 assists this year. Guess who got the most amount of goals for us? I think most people would guess it's Ilkay Gundogan. With 16. Kevin's got 8 goals, as I mentioned before. And then bring on to another player. Yo, everybody wants to talk bad about Gabriel Jesus and how shit he's been. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, he's frustrating. I know he's frustrated. And keeping it all the way real, he might not be the type of striker we want at Manchester City to replace Aguero full time. He might not be that guy. And, you know, I'm not going to argue with anybody there. But that man has got 13 goals this year, and it doesn't even feel like that, right? Because it's just how crazy the system could be sometimes. My point being is that this system, it's frustrating not only for wingers, it's frustrating for strikers. Aguero's been out because he hasn't been fit. You know, so Gabriel Jesus has had to carry a lot of the load. And even though he's had to carry a lot of the load, he definitely is frustrated. He's definitely been off the mark. You would like to see him make better runs. But also, I think it's something with this system that won't allow him just to be in the box, because anybody watching this team would go, bro, Gabriel Jesus, just stay up there. Stay up there in the 6-yard box. Just find your way somewhere. You know, float in if you want to get a touch of the ball to link up the play, but try to find yourself in the 6-yard box. But it's something about this system that just hates strikers. But, you know, he still got 13 goals. So my point is that nobody's flying away with goals this year. Like I said, Ilkay Gundogan's got 16 and he might end up with 20, you know, but even he's taking a step back now that De Bruyne has been back healthy. And then talk about another player, Mr. Torres. Now, Torres is an interesting one all within itself, because let's keep in mind, no, I don't think nobody that watches this content on no other city channel is really going to talk bad about a youngster. So I'm not going to do that on this channel. And the reason why is because I like Torres. I think Torres is all right. I never thought he was a Raheem Sterling like for like. I mean, not Raheem Sterling, but Leroy Sané like for like replacement. I never thought he was that, you know. Some of you may have that expectation, but I never thought he was that. I know he's been direct at times, but when you look at the season, he wasn't started in the Premier League. He was playing in the Champions League, bailing us out, getting us goals. He comes into the season still not playing really in the Premier League. He gets COVID, maybe drops some weight, and then now he's trying to get himself back up to form. So maybe he just is out of form too, and we have to make a decision on whether he's going to play on the right, whether he's going to play on the left, or whether we should give him a look up top, you know. But at the end of the day, he still got 9 goals. And 3 assists. You know, Foden's got 13 goals now and 9 assists. So that's really what you're going to see from the team. So you know, Bernardo Silva's not a creator. A lot of people out there want Bernardo Silva to do something. Bernardo Silva's not a creator, but he does find a way with his energy to get involved in the game. João Cancelo's, I think, got like something like 4 assists. So it's just going to show you that it's balanced between everybody. So nobody's going to have these outstanding performances that we're all used to. But I tell you one thing that's a shock. Guess how many goals John Stones has? Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds. John Stones has 5 goals, basically, this year. And Aymeric Laporte, I think, has 1 or something like that. And then Diaz has 1. But it goes to show you that really everybody's really been chipping in. And that's why I'm confident within this group. So that's really what I want to talk about here today before I tell you about the last points of the video. Just pump the brakes on this team. I know it's been a frustrating 2 or 3 weeks, but at the end of the day, we still have a job to do because we're going to face Aston Villa. And right now, Aston Villa is the priority. Once we get the league sewn up, you know, that's the main focus. We have to get the league sewn up. And I'm confident we'll be able to do that. But, don't let other teams out there spoil your joy and ruin your Sunday, because just understand one thing. We may have been struggling over this last 2 or 3 weeks, but Manchester City is still the shit in comparison to all these other teams. And if we do what we need to do in the Champions League, we handle our business within the Premier League, we got the talent. We just haven't found our form, but we need to be collective as far as a fan base, if you will. And I don't think City fans are necessarily divided. It's just that we give our players a lot of hell. And I think we always are going to be united. I'm just saying, pump the brakes a little bit, because just know one thing. If we get past this game with Aston Villa, we'll feel a little bit better about the situation. And we've seen ebbs and flows, or kind of bell curve actions within the season. We started off the season like shit, found our form, and this might just be a slow dip in form ever since we played against United, but we will find a way. And don't be shocked if we get a surprise against PSG. Now, I know I'm going a little too far with that, but my point being is that we got the squad, we got the talent. That's all we have to do is put it around at least one game to where we get like 3 or 4 goals, which I know that this team is capable of. The confidence will start flowing again. And I believe in this team. I know you guys believe in this team. But until then, Manchester United is second. Chelsea are looking good, but we still going to win the Premier League over them. We might have to play them in the Champions League if they progress or if we progress. But until that point, we should still be confident in this team no matter what, because this team has accomplished a lot of things that people didn't think we were going to be able to accomplish. So let's get it done, City. And I know when you guys are out there, all the players on the squad, just know one thing, bro. It's all right. It's all right. It is okay. We will be fine. We just got to get it done. You guys got to hold your head up high and get back to doing what you do best, defending and scoring goals, and everything will be okay. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.